More than 6,485,000 acres have burned across the United States since the start of the year. In square miles, that is more than 10,100. That is almost twice the size of the entire state of Connecticut. It is 6.5 Rhode Islands, border to border. That much ground could cover 5 million football fields, and it burned not over a century, but in under 8 months. Per today's federal report, that is 154% of the 10-year average. The country is not just burning more than usual. It is burning at nearly 1.5 times its own normal rate. For comparison, last year, 2025, the entire country lost about 5 million acres for the whole season. This year has already passed last year's total, with a month and a half of active season still ahead. And the most alarming number here is not about acres, it is about people. Right now, the country cannot get ahead of 95 large fires burning at once. The national preparedness level has sat at its highest mark for nearly a month straight. Behind these numbers are specific addresses, specific roads, and specific families. Tonight, one of the sharpest addresses on that map is Reno, Nevada. Nevada is burning 2 separate fires tonight under one shared command, not one continuous stretch of land. The Bug Fire physically merged with the Fred Mountain Fire back on Tuesday, and that really is one combined perimeter. The Stallion Fire burns separately, near Pyramid Lake, and does not touch the Bug Fire. The federal InciWeb system simply tracks both on one page under the shared name Bug Stallion Fire, because one team runs both. Each fire still has its own perimeter, its own containment, and its own separate numbers. The Bug Fire started Saturday afternoon near Bordertown, on the Nevada-California border. By Sunday morning, it had already passed 6,500 acres. It made another run Sunday evening and topped 11,400 acres by 9 that night. By Monday morning, it stood at 15,000 acres. On Tuesday, the Bug Fire merged with the Fred Mountain Fire, and their combined perimeter reached 44,300 acres. Per this morning's report, the Bug Fire has grown to 70,757 acres. Containment rose to 3%. The Stallion Fire reached 33,731 acres, with containment still at 0. Add both fires together, and you get more than 104,000 acres. That is not the size of one scorched patch of ground. It is the sum of 2 separate fronts that one team is now holding back. These are large numbers, but behind them sits one simple fact. Neither fire has been stopped, and 5 days have already passed. Per the sheriff's office, roughly 3,000 homes remain threatened. The danger hangs over Hungry Valley, Antelope Valley, Winnemucca Ranch, and Harris Ranch. The list also includes Palomino Valley and the Reno Sparks Indian Colony. Per the Plumas County Sheriff's Office, an evacuation warning went out Wednesday evening at 6:35. It covers the eastern zones of the county, including the communities of Chilkoot and Vinton. That makes 4 counties now under orders and warnings. The fire officially spans Washoe, Lassen, Sierra, and Plumas, meaning 2 states. Per officials, Highway 395 was closed Wednesday evening from the state line to Constantia. The reason given was that the fire was preparing to jump the highway. Per the Washoe County Sheriff's Office, mandatory go now orders cover Winnemucca Ranch Road up to Highway 445. They also cover all of Palomino Valley. In the Red Rock area, orders cover Thoroughbred Circle, Porcupine Mountain, Frontier Road, Quarter Horse Circle, Appaloosa Creek, Seven Lakes Mountain, and Belgian Way. For the Stallion Fire Zone, orders run between Moses Rock and Monte Cristo Drive, and new warnings cover the Nixon area. Today, the weather over Reno carries more than just danger, for the first time since this fire started. Per the Weather Service, a flood watch runs from 2 in the afternoon Wednesday through Thursday evening. The zone covers the perimeters of both the Bug and Stallion fires. The chance of rain over the Bug Fire today stands at 60%, and over the Stallion Fire at 70%. There has been no rain like this over this fire since it started on the 8th of August. But that rain comes at a price, and today's federal report names a second one. Per the Thursday forecast discussion, northwest Nevada falls into a wider zone of dry thunderstorms today than yesterday. These are storms that give little rain but strike with lightning. That makes for a rare combination. The same weather front can put out part of the fire today and spark a new one nearby. The storms can also bring wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour before any rain falls. Freshly burned ground does not soak up water the way normal soil does, and rain over a scorched hillside can turn into a mudslide. If you or someone you love is in this fire zone right now, subscribe to the channel. The weather here is changing faster than official reports can keep up. Updates will post here every day as soon as new numbers come in. On the ground, several levels of force are holding this fire back at once. Governor Joe Lombardo declared a state of emergency for Washoe County. The Nevada National Guard and military police are working on site alongside federal crews. Per today's report, personnel on both fires keeps growing. The Bug Fire crew added nearly 300 people, and the Stallion Fire crew added nearly 100. Together, the two fires now have more than 750 personnel, 14 crews, 66 engines, and 5 helicopters. Pyramid Lake is closed to boats. Firefighting aircraft are drawing water straight from the lake, taking off and landing right on the surface. Crews chose a specific tactic for the Stallion Fire. They are trying to steer it toward old burn scars left by previous fires. Those areas carry less fuel, and they act as a natural barrier. Unified Command Leader Caleb Finch described conditions this way. The weather is difficult, the fuel is dry and unpredictable, and it is hard for crews to reach the fire's active edge. Per the Sheriff's Office, State Route 446 is closed in both directions. Red Rock Road is closed between Moya Boulevard and Lemon Drive. 9 Washoe County schools are closed. NV Energy says the number of power outages is dropping, though power has not been fully restored for those in the evacuation zone right now. The shelter is operating at the Evelyn Mount Community Center on Valley Road. Large animals are being taken in at the Reno Sparks Livestock Event Center. Small animals go to the county service on Longley Lane. On the California coast, the timber fire continues to grow. Per today's report, it has burned 3,774 acres. Containment rose to 7%. More than 500 structures along the coast remain threatened. Rain fell over the fire area yesterday, confirmed in the federal report. It helped crews some, but the fire still grew by nearly 800 acres in a day. The fire is burning on federal land in the Los Padres National Forest, but California's CAL FIRE is running command, not the federal service. That is an unusual role for the state on land that is not its own. Highway 1 is closed along a 10-mile stretch of the coast. Forecasters are watching for another chance of thunderstorms today. As in Nevada, those same storms can bring gusty wind before any rain. Near Mount Hood in Oregon, the Grasshopper Fire remains one of the fastest-moving fires in the country. Per today's report, it has reached 83,619 acres. Containment holds at 20%. More than 1,700 personnel are now working the fire. Officials earlier confirmed 6 homes destroyed in the area, along with more than a dozen outbuildings. Per the Coordination Center, roughly 200 more structures remain threatened. A full damage assessment is still pending, since crews remain focused on containment rather than counting losses. South of Mount Hood, the Austin fire has grown to 1,200 acres. Containment there remains at 0, though personnel on the fire have already topped 100. On the other side of the state, in southeast Oregon, the Big Grass Fire has burned 579,000 acres. It passed the state's previous record set by a 2012 fire 2 weeks ago and has kept growing since. Today's report shows containment on it has dropped to 34%. Per today's report, the Little Giant Fire northwest of Leavenworth has burned 127,488 acres. Containment held at 5% despite the growth in acreage. More than 2,100 personnel are on the fire, more than on any other fire in the country. The fire jumped Lake Chelan earlier, and a separate spot fire is still burning on the North Shore. Overnight infrared flights keep refining the perimeter every day, so its numbers shift more noticeably day to day than on other fires. The Sinlahecan fire near Tonasket has grown to 152,000 acres, with containment at 37%. A second management team is being sent in today alongside the first, a sign the situation there is getting harder, not easing up. Near Clarkston, the Alpawa Mutual Aid fire remains uncontained, with no new information reported today. 95 large fires are burning uncontained across the country. That is fewer than yesterday and fewer than the day before. The number has fallen for a third straight day. 104, then 101, now 95. Crews closed out 5 large fires yesterday nationwide, while 4 new large ones appeared. That is the second straight day more fires closed than opened. That does not mean the season is turning around. 6.5 million acres are not going anywhere, and at least a month and a half of active season remains. But for the first time in a while, the line has started moving the right direction, at least on paper. Per the federal forecast discussion, the zone of dry thunderstorms with little rain has widened today. It now covers more of the northwest, northern, and northeastern California, northwest Nevada, Idaho, and western Montana than it did yesterday. Farther south and east, the storms will carry more rain and will be less likely to spark new fires. A separate concern holds over the southern plains. Southerly winds gusting to 40 miles an hour, combined with heat and low humidity, are creating critical fire weather from Texas to Oklahoma. Today showed a pattern bigger than one city. The same weather front is putting out fires and starting new ones, and tonight that is true across half the West Coast, not just Reno. If you are near any of tonight's fires, a few things are worth checking right now. Highway 395 near Reno is closed, not just slow. Highway 1 at Big Sur is shut down for 10 miles. Check your zone directly, not from memory. If you made it this far, thank you for staying with us this long. Crews in Nevada, California, Oregon, and Washington face a long night ahead. We will sort out what is left of it tomorrow, same time.